Amorim's Manchester United don't need a parade. They need recognition for something rarer in modern Old Trafford discourse. A repeatable plan. For months, the conversation was tone. New manager bounce, statement wins, and the promise of momentum just around the corner. What has actually appeared is different. United have begun to stack the kind of actions that look mundane individually, yet add up to control. Exits, by design, that ignore bait. Half-space timing that manufactures high-value shots without sterile dominance, and set pieces that value rebounds more than hero headers. The record matters, but the method matters more, because method is what travels from a rivalry night to a cold Saturday. Start at first principles. Exits decide the kind of game you'll play. Brighton, Liverpool, and several Premier League sides now weaponize your build-up. Waiting for the six to show and the center back to telegraph a pass before pouncing? Amorim's answer has been to delete the question. United don't give it away. They launch long by design, staging the first duel near halfway with support locked for the second ball. That looks agricultural until you watch what happens after the contest. The far winger arrives on the second touch. The near wingback hovers 5 meters behind the landing zone, and the near pivot stays outside the center circle to kill the immediate counter if the duel is lost. The sequence creates throw-ins and corners by volume, which then feed the next part of the system, set-piece leverage. United's dead ball plan isn't about towering heads, it's about chaos you can predict. Deliveries are flatter, flights earlier, and bodies are stacked at the 6-yard line to screen the keeper. The first runner attacks the near zone. A back post arrival lags half a beat, and one of the center backs aims the header down rather than for the corners. Because a bouncing ball in traffic is harder to handle than a clean strike. Two stoppers wait on staggered lines at the D to prevent the instant counter. If the corner is cleared, the instruction is not the lunging 50-50. It's the angle that forces the next touch toward touch, or the small, clever foul that resets the trap. This is how United converted set pieces from decoration into leverage, and why opponents no longer sprint from United's corners to United's net in 2 passes. The open play personality is the second layer. United have moved their attack inside, starting wingers narrower, 5 meters in from the chalk, so they are 1 pass from the box, not 2. The most profitable highway is the inside right lane. The pattern is simple to describe and hard to deny. A diagonal carry from the half space triggers a flat, early shot across the goalkeeper before the defensive line can set its feet. If the line collapses, the ball is cut back for the second runner, while the 9 pins the near center back. These finishes don't require wave after wave of sterile possession. They require timing and nerve. 1 touch to secure, 1 to release, no extra spins when the head turn appears in the fullback's peripheral vision. Defenders hate these plays because all the decisions arrive while they are mid-turn or shuffling. Expected goals models underprice them in small samples because the contact is taken a beat earlier than normal. Pressing is geometry rather than heroics. Amorim has reduced the chase and increased the shade. The first runner curves to close the pivot's lane, the 8 locks the wall pass, and the winger boxes the fullback, so the out becomes a floated lob that United can attack facing forward. The trigger is when the ball travels, not when the passer shapes. That is why regains now happen within 2 passes near touch, and why United spend more time playing in the opponent's half without the look of a sterile siege. When the opponent rotates the pivot into fullback, United don't chase the shirt number. They lock the return to the original passer, removing the safe recycle that turns pressure into rhythm. The outcome looks like luck on a highlight reel. It's actually the last step in a rehearsed funnel. Governance over high leverage moments is the third rail. Penalty order is frozen before kickoff, so a 12-yard event is choreography, not committee. Throw-ins are pre-called mini set plays with a third-man bounce to break the squeeze. United no longer wing it from the sideline. Rest defense is photographed in training positions after United's own corners. 2 at the top of the box on different angles. 1 outside the circle, 1 wider to block the first launch. The goalkeeper is selected for 2-footed range as much as shot stopping, with the brief to reset quickly and deny the opponent the after-you rhythm that lets a stadium breathe. None of these details win a headline. Together, we shrink games into manageable modules. Individuals, too, have snapped into roles that make the structure visible. Bruno Fernandes still reads as the creative spike, but his most valuable contribution in this template is governance. He takes the ball for the penalty, sets the screen at corners, and acts as the traffic warden for the late run. Kobbie Mainoo's metronome isn't sterile. It is angled, always ready to be the wall that turns a vertical into a third-man break. Always cautious enough to stay 5 meters off the center backs when the temptation is to help in build. Mason Mount's shape has changed from touchline shuttler to right half-space connector. 1-touch walls into the pivot when pressure arrives from the blind side. Early diagonals to the wingback when the line holds. And off-ball pauses that place him as the second runner for the cutback. Harry Maguire, long treated as a symbol rather than a defender, has leaned into the ugly work the plan requires. Aggressive first contacts on long diagonals. Downward headers in a packed 6, and a ruthless commitment to foul and funnel instead of racing a quicker forward into open grass. The center-forward profile is not about shirts, but behaviors. United need a runner who presses on a curve, attacks the first post, and accepts that some touches will be decoy value. The reward is obvious on film. The line drops because of the pin. The cutback lane opens, and the second runner, Mount, Fernandes, or a narrow winger, arrives to finish on balance. Names will change as form and fitness shift. The function should not. That focus explains the selection of a goalkeeper comfortable going long under pressure, the preference for wingbacks who can carry diagonally rather than stand and cross, and the narrower starting positions that make United 1 pass away rather than 2 passes and a dribble away. The next skeptic's question is fair. Will this scale when the opponent refuses the chaos? Against deep blocks who sit in a 5-4-1 with wingbacks nailed to the last line? Amorim's United must show they can value sterile possession as a positional tool, not a moral. Victory. The distances that worked at Anfield still work at walking speed if the team resists 2 temptations. The first is the hopeful clip from the touchline. Keep the cross flat and early, or don't cross at all. Keep the cutback as the default. The second is the urge to shrink spacing. Staying 5 meters narrow on the right isn't about aesthetics. It's about ensuring the first touch is already in the pocket, so the diagonal carry can begin without inviting a double team. Rotation can be patient without being passive. Recycle. Wait for the head turn from a fullback. Then go with the same 2-touch discipline that beats set feet. Measure the plan by repeatables, not vibes. Count regains within 2 passes near touch. Count throw-ins converted into entries rather than concessions. Count corners that create second contacts rather than highlight headers. Count early shots taken before a defensive line sets. If those numbers persist, results follow quietly. You won't always get the rivalry sugar rush. You will get more clean final third actions and fewer end-to-end flips that make United look paper-thin when a single duel goes wrong. There is still growth ahead. The left side timing can improve, where the far winger sometimes arrives a beat early and closes the cutback lane. The goalkeeper can vary restart heights to pull pressing 8s into no man's land before launching. The near pivot can practice the half-shoulder receive that buys the half-second to release the third-man runner when the opponent steps with a center back. And United can add one more corner routine that fakes the near-post crash and instead clips a low ball for a pre-positioned edge-of-box finisher. All marginal gains, all in the spirit of a plan that values second balls over second chances. The headline will always chase personalities. The habit that matters chases percentages. Amorins United have started to choose the profitable action. Boring when necessary, blunt when useful, brave when the geometry is right, and to choose it again and again regardless of venue. That is the recognition they deserve. Not as a feel-good story, but as a side with a template that finally looks the same at 1 foot, 45 foot, and 84 foot. If that picture holds, the table will catch up with the tape. One question remains, and it is healthy. Can this team maintain the cadence when injuries nudge the 11 and opponents spend a week preparing for the blueprint? The only honest answer is the same as the pitch side one. Count the repeatables. If the counts stay high, the mood will follow. If they drop, we'll know why and how to fix it. Because a team with a plan also has a diagnosis.